Good afternoon, Michael Bird here for WordWrite Web, giving you some information about search results, primarily Google. Google is the one. Google is the place where all of the action happens. We've talked about a number of things. We started out with how search results are not an entitlement. They do not come with a website. They are not guaranteed for all time. It's a game of king of the hill. If it's a search worth having, you can bet you have a competitor, and probably many competitors, who are trying to get ahead of you on that game of king of the hill, which is the top 10 search results of a Google search. So that would be the first page. And obviously you want to be in the top 5 if you can. Now, I've glossed over the fact that a good search, a commercially viable search that's likely to be your prospect, in high volumes, a search term with a high number of searches, is most likely going to generate a page that has 3 sections. So I want to go back and touch on the 3 sections of this kind of page. And it's not the only kind of page you'll get. So let's go to the top here. Let me spin this back. And again, you don't have to be able to read this to get what we're talking about conceptually. This top section, you can't see my cursor, but let me just stand up. This section right here is the Google AdWords section, the ads. And what I want to say about this is that we tend to dismiss this. This was, if you've been around the internet and Google from the early days, what you cared about was the top 10 that we're going to get to in a minute. And the ads were just an annoyance, and you developed a habit of not clicking on them. So now you may think that these ads are not in any way relevant to you, and that would be incorrect. These ads work, and the reason your competitors are showing up there is because they're getting business from it. We're going to come back to this. This is a really great way to get business. The second section here is the Maps section. I call it the Maps section. Technically, that's not correct. It's probably Google My Business. It's Google Plus Local. It's been a number of things. It's been a little bit hard to keep up. But it's got a map in it, so I just call it Maps, the Google Maps section. We know what we're talking about here. So we're going to skip over that for now, but except to say that that is also a very good place to be, and it's inexpensive as far as hiring somebody to help get you there, or you can take care of it yourself. You can learn how to do it and just make sure that your Maps page is in good shape and that you don't have conflicts. What we're really talking about when we say organic search is this section of 10 down here, where you are hoping to come up ahead of your competition for the searches that matter, commercially viable in high volume. And I've started with this section only because probably the same bias that causes people to think that they're entitled to search results or that the ads don't matter. This is what we think about when we talk about doing a Google search or going to Google something. You want to get something here that Google's algorithm generates as their value proposition. This is why they're valuable. They give you the real data, or they attempt to. Their software attempts to. So you get this section of 10 here. Now I'm going to take you to another page just to show you a little contrast. I searched in this tab here for koala bear, and in this section, koala bear, now that's not a commercially viable search. Typically, people are not wanting to buy a koala bear. They want to learn about it. And a lot of times, that kind of search generates first result is a Wikipedia result. And then over here to the right, you see the pictures of the koala bear. So you're going to learn about, so we'll call that the koala bear search. Different ballgame. I'm not interested in that. And yet, you still have, what it has in common is that you still have these 10 search results here, organic search results here. So, what I'd like you to do, as your takeaway, is to do a couple of searches. You might have already done some that you think are commercially viable for your business or other businesses, and see what comes up. And then do some searches about things that you're interested in. And you'll be surprised at the variations of Google search results pages. I just recently was looking for a hand edger, And when I do a search for a hand edger, I probably should have queued one up here, you're going to get product pictures. So that's a commercial search, but it's not going to give me a maps page per se. There are not edger stores. There's Lowe's and Home Depots and so on. Google is a living, breathing entity like the koala bear. It changes. It's not set in stone. You don't have an entitlement. If you are king of a particular hill, say for a particular search term or series of terms, you're not going to stay there. Not necessarily. So a couple things to learn about the Google search results page there. This 10 is what we typically talk about organically. It's not necessarily the best, by the way, of the commercial options. Let me go back over here. Let's go back to our 3 sections. It's not necessarily the place to start. I just started there because that's what we think of when we talk about a Google search.